Intuition is something we all have. It's that inner knowing. It's your inner GPS system, that guidance where you ever get that feeling where I know something's right, or I get the feeling that something's right, or you just get an idea in your head. That's your intuition. It's light. It feels good. You follow it. It's an inner knowing.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Sam Dever Podcast, episode 129. In this episode, I speak with intuitive coach, entrepreneur, and actress, Maria Shapley. This was an incredible conversation. I can't wait for you to check it out. To watch this episode, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@thesamdeverpodcast. To listen to this episode, be sure to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Here's my conversation with Maria. Well, Maria Shapley, welcome to the Sam Dever Podcast.
Thank you, Sam Dever.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
No, this is great. And kudos to you
Thanks.
for your promptness and ability to make we were going to do it no matter what, but
Yeah, I got to be on time.
a time opening portal, this date was open and I hit you up. You're like, hey, can you do it tomorrow? You're like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It
wow.
works.
Next
Perfect.
thing you know, I had your headshot and everything. Like, wow, this is happening.
Nice. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And I met you, shout out to Hadari of Gula World at one of her events, actually through yoga.
Yeah.
That was a great yin yoga class, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think I had mentioned it to you. Yin yoga doesn't get as much attention as I feel it should sometimes. Like it kind of gets...
I agree.
A lot of the studios and stuff offer it, but it's like kind of
Yes.
like, it's like they're lower of the totem pole class.
For sure.
But
Yes.
I'm like, man, like those deep, long postures, that's sometimes the most important.
Oh, we need it for sure because yin, it allows us to access those deeper layers that not some of the other yoga classes offer, which are very young. You're working on more of the major core muscles, and some of them in heated yoga classes, you're jumping up and down and using different movements. But with yin, you're accessing the connective tissue, you're lubricating the joints, you're improving mobility, flexibility, and it's an intuitive surrender process, which is really beautiful.
And there's that word, intuitive. I feel we're going to be speaking a lot on, which I'm sure we'll get here in a sec. So you do a lot of different things. Really cool, everything you got going on. And I thought maybe for the purpose of this conversation, just start with a little backstory.
Okay.
As far back or as not far back as you want, and what brought you to LA eventually with that?
Okay, my backstory. Let's see. I grew up in Pennsylvania, and I started off with going to school for business and marketing. And from there, I branched out into personal fitness and then started working in event marketing and did that for many years up until I discovered, I've always had a passion for acting. And I started pursuing that route, and which led me to New York City, and then from New York City to Los Angeles. And I thought this is the place to be if I really want to pursue my career as an actress, and also the spiritual health and wellness community. And I've been here 12 years now and still kind of doing all of it.
Wow, 12,
Yeah.
that's an accomplishment. 12 years in LA times like 50.
Yeah.
I hit the 7-year mark and I was feeling good about that till I got a long ways to go.
12 years. Yeah.
How was New York City? I'm always curious to talk to people that have lived in both places. Their
I
experience
love
there.
New
Yeah.
York. I would absolutely live in both cities. I lived in Astoria, which is a very like Greek artsy place, which I liked.
That's a part of New York City?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I lived there for a little bit under a year, and I loved it. I love New York. Yeah. Very different than LA, though.
Someone told me the thing about New York, they said the energy was just like nonstop
It
there.
is. It has a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's alive 24/7.
Wow. Well, and I guess part of the part would appeal to me because in LA you obviously have to have a car. Usually public transit's really not going to work that well. But New York, you just live where you live and you just walk out the door.
Easy.
And
Just
just
take a
go-
subway. Boom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Would you ever move back there?
I wouldn't live there, but if I had another home and I was doing work there and here, that would be cool. But I like living here primarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to beat sunshine.
I know. I love it out here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I studied marketing as well. That's interesting. You studied that
Oh,
in
cool.
college and everything.
It
How much do you feel that's helped you uh, with what all you're doing now?
to
Studying that
to be
background?
honest,
Yeah.
going to school for it, I don't feel like I got as much of as an education as I did actually in the field of marketing. That gave me more of a hands-on approach, and I really got to learn from the inside out of different companies, Vitamin Water, Smart Water, Core Water. I don't want to name all of them, but working for these different brands and seeing how they develop and their strategies to get the product to market is really cool. And then now with social media blowing up, you can create a whole business from your phone. And I think really just doing it is what gave me the best knowledge.
I agree with that. I feel in school and when I went there, I mean, shoot, it was 2009 is
Way
when I graduated.
different.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what you were studying back then was like the old school stuff. And now it's like someone downloads TikTok and gets a
Right.
million followers.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Never read one marketing or business book
yeah.
in their life. And
Hmm.
so I agree with you, the doing, and I'm guilty too of like overthinking a little too much. Like, well, we really have to plan this out and be
Hmm.
strategic
Hmm.
instead of just,
Just do it
yeah.
and then figure it out.
Yeah. So besides acting in the arts, was the intuitive coaching
Mm.
what was the next thing for you out here?
Yes. So intuitive coaching, I started around 4 or 5 years ago, and I decided I really wanted to train my intuition. Even though I've always been intuitive, I've been following my intuition all my life, and I always had this deep interest for it. Then one day I saw that there was a training for training your intuition. I'm like, why not? This sounds really cool. And I got to learn energy healing techniques and how to train it. And that's I've been doing that since with my clients, even though I used to use other modalities. Now I primarily use this.
And for my own sake in the audience, so what exactly is intuition to you? Like what is that? Because that word gets thrown around a
Hmm.
lot. Intuition, gut feeling, that type of thing.
Intuition is something we all have. It's that inner knowing. It's your inner GPS system, that guidance where you ever get that feeling where I know something's right, or I get the feeling that something's right, or you just get an idea in your head. That's your intuition. It's light. It feels good. You follow it. Um, so it's just it's an inner knowing.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
And I guess my next follow-up is why is that hard to do? Because there's so many times where we do get those feelings, but I think whether it's conditioning or our own mind state,
Hmm.
we talk ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
So is that what you help people to do? You help them to be able to find that intuition and then take action on it?
Yeah, I that's one aspect of what I do in helping people develop their intuition. I feel that some people don't always trust it or follow it because they're following their blocks, I call it. They're following their past, their unconscious beliefs that are holding them back, and that's why they veer off their path and they end up maybe in relationships that don't serve them or jobs they don't like, or their health is suffering because they're not really following their inner guidance system to what's best for them, and of course other things as well. Um, yeah, there's an aspect of what I do in helping people develop their intuition, and then what I do as an intuition coach, I use my intuition to identify the root cause of why you may be feeling stuck, and then clear the blocks, help the person move forward. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, so the blocks, would comforts be another word? Sometimes people don't,
Mhm.
they just go to what's comfortable, but they don't realize that that's
Mm.
really blocking them from where they want to go. Or is that one thing it could be? Or
What's comfortable? Maybe like yeah, being complacent or um
like if someone wants to get healthy and they just keep eating junk food,
yeah,
right? That would be a block,
that's
right?
definitely a
Okay.
block. You're
Yeah.
self-sabotaging, you're
Mm.
procrastinating, you're not taking care of yourself. Yeah, there's some blocks there. Where is this coming from? But ultimately, it comes down to a choice. You got to choose to want to take care of yourself or better yourself. And what is the payoff and the cost in this? You may be comfortable, you know, overeating or indulging or whatever your vice is, but what is that costing you? Your health, your happiness, your livelihood.
Mm. So growth really does happen outside the comfort zone.
For sure.
What's one of the more common areas that you help people with intuition, or what's a common struggle that people have rather?
Around
where
intuition
they're looking for
primarily.
help with this area specific, because you focus on different areas, right? Like it
Mhm.
can be
Mhm.
dating or
Mhm.
career
Mhm.
or health. Is there any one
Yeah.
that you see more people?
They come to me for all reasons, and I would say primarily it comes in different waves and with whoever recommends me, but recently it's been a lot of health stuff,
Hmm.
panic, anxiety, depression, helping like do a lot of body healing. And then with intuition, it comes down to not trusting it. And what is the root cause of not trusting your intuition? What's the first age that you shut it down? What's the first age you felt that it wasn't safe to be intuitive or it was wrong to be intuitive?
Hmm. Wow, this is
It's because I did a session today with a I
I
also
had some memories flashing back
did
just
you?
now.
Right.
Yeah.
It takes you back. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and how much of that comes from childhood? Probably, when you think about it, like again, God bless all of our parents and people who raised us everywhere, but it's like they're all trying to figure out life too, and maybe you were getting taught things the way they just thought was best for you, but maybe it wasn't. And
Mhm.
certain traumas that happened to you when you're younger, and you never really deal with it. You just
Mhm.
put it down there deep.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
those can be actually blocking you, whether you even if you don't realize it.
They're unconscious
Hmm.
blocks, patterns, and programs that we're not aware of. And just like you said, most of it does come from childhood because ages 0 to 7 are the ages we're most susceptible to information. We're downloading information from our parents, from our family, from society, how to be a person in the world, because our brainwave is in a more susceptible state from in a more alpha state or theta, delta state, um, where our brain is like a sponge. And so then we become an adult, and all of a sudden, I have this relationship issue where I keep attracting these abusive partners, or you are constantly fighting in your relationship. What else? Whatever the problem that people experience in their life usually comes from earlier on.
And we've talked about this, and I've opened up to it myself. Like I find myself a lot of times getting in certain situations or just attracting the same type of energy,
Hmm.
or people, and it's not like no one's bad people, but it's like how did I get back into this type of situation again? Like I logically know about it, but to your point, so maybe there's probably some blocks,
Subconscious.
subconscious things that even that I'm able to map it out and recognize it. I'm not addressing maybe the root cause.
Yes. When you
Wow.
get to the root of it and you clear it, it makes a whirlwind of a change because energy, thought is an energy, emotion is an energy. And our bones are record keepers. The body keeps the score, and we can store these emotions or beliefs in our gut. If you notice you have gut issues, or you can store in your throat if you have problems really creatively expressing yourself. They all just stay within the body or energetic body.
So where do we begin? Like
Where do we begin? We begin
how,
with the light.
how do we start this process?
Well, you begin by you can close your eyes.
I should do that right
Are
now.
you ready? Are
Okay.
you ready to go for it? And with your eyes closed, look up and take your energy 300 feet above your head. Imagine you're above the clouds where you can see or sense source light. And this is a brilliant white light. And begin to bring this white light into the top of your crown. This white light is opening you up to the truth, bringing clarity, opening up all your intuitive abilities. This white light goes throughout your brain, your eyes, your third eye, opening up your eyes so you can see the path clearly. Allow this white liquid light to open up your ears, opening up your ears so you can hear your guidance crystal clear. This light goes into your throat, opening up your throat so you can speak your truth clearly. Allow this light to go throughout your shoulders, arms, and hands, into your heart space, bringing in more and more love. And see this light going into your solar plexus, washing away any unease, washing away any stress. This light goes into your stomach, your sacral, your hips, your root, your legs, knees, calves, and at your feet. And imagining out the bottom of your feet are roots of a tree that go down to the center of the planet. Follow this light to the center of the planet where you connect to Mother Earth. And some people see this as a pyramid or a crystal like dimension. But when you connect there, it's as if you need to take a breath. To feel her support and send this beam of light right back up into your feet, your legs, hips, all the way up and out your head. And bring both lights from above and below into the center of your heart and radiate out your body 360 degrees. Send this light 10 feet around you, 20 feet, past your home, past the city, past the state, past the planet, where you have no edges, you can keep on going. How do you feel being connected to this place?
Calm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's just by simply connecting to the light. That took about 2 minutes to do.
Can I open my eyes now?
You can.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was interesting.
Yeah. That's the first step to clearing your blocks, to developing your intuition, to creating more miracles in your life.
Wow. So, okay. The rabbit hole probably goes really deep.
Yes.
After
Here we go.
So that's, you know, what's crazy? The most interesting about that, like it reminds me of a book. It's actually Journey. I'm butchering. It's like Journey Outside the Body. It's about how
Yes,
you
the
can.
journey of souls.
It might be. It's. I got it when I was talking to you earlier when I was floating around those different circles. I
Okay.
got it from a guy there. It was like Journey Outside the Body, where you can astro project yourself.
Okay, yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
For sure.
And that's what they talked about, like people that were able to go outside their body and go travel. And
Yeah, that's a real thing too.
yeah, I don't want to get us into. But yeah, there's definitely a sense of calm because I felt like it got me out of my head.
Yeah.
Because I was able to look from the outside instead of from
Ooh.
the inside. Even from the get-go, when you're like, hey, go up above, down, it's like, oh wow, it's kind of like an out of body experience in a
Yeah.
way.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you
Yeah.
felt that.
Yeah.
Great. So that's the first step.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sorry. I don't want to dominate our entire time by the. What would someone do next after that? Theoretically.
So from there, I
Yeah.
would ask you either what you want to work on,
Mhm.
whether or I can just tune in and see whatever is coming up that needs to be cleared, or if you just have questions about something.
Should I do that now?
Yeah.
So I should pick what direction to go with that.
Yeah.
I want to clean out. If we're able to go this direction, I want to clean out whatever cobwebs or blockages are holding me back from my true potential.
Throat
and all my projects' potential as well.
Okay, throat chakra. Okay. What's the first age that you felt held back from from something you really wanted to make happen for yourself? You feeling let down.
Around 4th or 5th grade.
Okay, and who'd you get this energy from? Your mom, your dad, yourself, or someone else?
This is from myself.
Okay. And what emotion does that bring up?
Failure, disappointment,
Mm.
jealousy a little bit.
And where do you feel this emotion in your body?
Here.
Okay, yeah. What I want you to do is imagine a whole ton of light going into your chest and your throat. So all of this failure energy, feeling let down, disappointed, jealousy, 4th or 5th grade from self, I'm going to clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Feeling blocked creatively, clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Feeling like you don't have a right to speak, clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Feeling less than or not good enough, clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, reality. What is a goal that you have for yourself that you really want to make happen now, currently?
I want this podcast to be a top 200 podcast.
Love it. And when you think of this being a top 200 podcast, what limiting beliefs or thoughts come up in the way of that?
Uh, Not getting the views,
Okay.
uh,
Doubt.
self-doubt. Self-doubt, frustration.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Okay, what's the first age that you felt this? Something similar to this?
Mm. Mm. Seventh grade.
7th grade.
Mhm.
Who'd you get it from?
It was from more a sport, basketball.
Okay, so influenced by peers.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Peers.
Mhm. And where do you feel this energy in your body?
In my chest for some reason.
All right, so bring a whole lot of light to your chest. So all of this self-doubt, fear, um, in your chest, 7th grade from peers and others.
Do I close my eyes?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
So we're going to clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, reality. Any of these self-doubt, fears from others in your chest, clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, reality. Anywhere you don't believe in yourself, solar plexus, clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Anywhere you think it'll take a long time to get your podcast to top 200, clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Anywhere you're afraid that you'll give up on your dreams. Was there a time that you had dreamed about something else and you gave up on it?
Hmm. I would probably. Wow, that's a great question. It's just good for my own self analysis. I would say not like going to give up, but more the thought of it. I would definitely say in the last few years, the mid 30s range,
Mm-hmm.
where because the older you get, the more you're like, wow, like,
Mm-hmm.
should I keep doing what I'm doing? So
Mm.
I guess that questioning yourself.
Yeah, questioning.
So I've definitely battled that a lot.
Okay, in the last few
Hmm.
years. Okay, and what feeling does that bring up?
Uh, Shame, wastefulness.
Okay, wasting time. Okay, where do you feel that in your body?
It's like right below the chest, like in the lungs.
All right. So bring the light to there. So all this, feel like you're wasting time of giving up energy on yourself. Mid 30s, clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, reality. Okay, around 7 years old. Okay, I want to go back to the root again because what the patterns that we experience now, the feelings of shame or self doubt or frustration, they always come back right from childhood or something earlier on. Um, did you play baseball during those years or
Which year?
I mean, I see like young, before middle school or middle schoolish.
That's funny because I did and I stopped
Okay.
before. That was actually the event,
Okay.
the first one, that
Yeah.
the frustration.
Mhm. So
I
that
wasn't that good at it.
okay. So feeling like a failure.
Hmm.
So that right there, where do you feel that in your body?
Feels like in my back,
Okay.
like same like area, but behind for
Okay.
some reason.
And was your dad kind of like did you feel like you failed your dad at all?
Oh, wow. Yeah, because he was really good at it. Yeah, in a way, a little bit. I just maybe let him down perhaps a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So
So
because I couldn't share that experience
right.
that he had.
I get that. All right. So I want you to imagine a whole lot of light going through your back. So everywhere this failure energy, middle school from dad, clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Feeling like a failure, shame, frustration in your heart and back. Clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Hips, clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, reality. Feeling like your dad doesn't have your back. Clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Feeling ashamed for not being good in baseball. Clear, transmute across all time, dimension, space, reality. So you want to keep clearing the energy till you feel a shift. So what I would do is I would keep clearing it until the energy shifts. So feel your back. It's still a little bit tightish.
I feel like I'm able. I don't know. It's one of those things. Like, am I thinking I'm thinking this, or am I really?
What is happening?
I do feel like I have really good posture right now.
Okay, good. All right.
I don't know if that's because I'm paying more attention, but
Mm-hmm.
I do feel good straight posture at the
Okay,
moment.
cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you would just keep doing this
Yeah,
with somebody. So
for an hour.
okay, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to
Yeah,
dominate
exactly.
all
So I'm like, yeah. But now you
but so
have
that's a
some.
taste of it right there. And well, I'm going to say like that. Those are really great questions and that's just one area. Like there's so many other areas that you could uncover
Mm-hmm.
in experiences.
Mm-hmm.
How many sessions does someone usually do with you typically? Like how on average?
Normally 12 sessions for the
Mm,
best results. So you really want to create real lasting bigger strides in what you want to achieve or manifest or heal, then I always say 12 sessions.
okay.
But typically someone will do at least 6. Like if it's 6, 12, yeah.
And how far do you spread those out? Is like once a week?
Once a week.
Hmm. And what's the typical I'm sure everyone's different, but like response, are people just shocked? Or I mean, I'm sure things will probably just for me, like you think of things like
Mhm.
if you would have told me that was the example I would be throwing at you, I'd
Mhm.
be like, no,
Mhm.
why would I say? But yeah, I guess it really forces you on the spot to
Mhm. Oh, for
be
sure.
honest with yourself, I guess is the right word
Yeah,
to
of course.
say.
Yeah, because a
Mm,
lot of people who go to therapy or counseling or coaching, there's so many incredible modalities out there. And this isn't therapy, but what I've found in sessions with clients is that, say, they'll come to me for one thing, but then in a session, I'm intuiting something that happened that they didn't even talk about. Where, like, for instance, earlier today, I was working with a client, won't say who it is, but I can kind of just give you the gist of it. But we're working on money blocks. And I picked up something that happened earlier on that was kind of personal, but it had to do with some type of abuse that she encountered from a specific person. So it got into those deeper layers. So all these things are kind of intertwined and raveled. But you start with this and you realize, oh, it came from this.
right. Like you might be dealing, I've got to be careful with my analogies.
Mm,
But you're dealing with the leaves when really you find out what the root is of
yeah.
the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the thing that you thought was the thing is not the actual thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's actually this.
Yeah.
Mm. I can definitely see that with money too. Like how if someone had a bad experience with something, like their mentality toward it
Mm-hmm.
is a difference. Because we've had people on here talk about like, money is energy,
Yeah. It
attraction and things
is.
like that. So is that something you've seen people really transform as far
There.
as the money goes for themselves?
Yeah, I find that with money, it of course, yes. So you can there's always a root cause to everything. And I did a group clearing around money blocks a couple times. That's funny. The theme has been around money the last month. And in the group clearing, one of the women in the class felt really stuck in her money struggles. And after the class, she pulled out her phone and she said, I just got an email from my agent that I booked a job for $3,000. I am beside myself right now. So it was kind of cool. Is it coincidental? Are we clearing energy blocks? Is it the right timing? But really a lot of it has to do with your energy and what you block yourself off from or allow yourself to receive in your life, because we're the common denominator of what we create in our life.
Hmm. It's like, let's just stop now. Let's just do the money
Here we
section.
go. Let's do it. That's it, right?
No, well, now that is interesting because Yeah, sometimes we do make mountains out of molehills really a lot of times, and like these things that we oh, it's not just happening because of this and this, where maybe it's like when you let sounds like there's a lot of letting go. And I guess that's what I experienced right now with you too. There was a lot of letting go.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of letting go of the ego.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's that part of me of like, okay, we're rolling cameras.
Yeah.
Wasn't really too prepared to do this right now, but I'm like, all right, well, hey, just be vulnerable for a second and try it. And there's actually something freeing about that. So I wonder if like people too, like they're releasing from the own prisons of their mind in a way
For sure.
with some of this, what you're talking of.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Out of your head, into your heart. Let yourself go. Be vulnerable because you don't feel so entrapped. You're your own worst critic. You think you're being judged by others, and really what someone thinks of you is none of your business. I've heard that said before. And
Oh,
you
that's
know,
a good one.
right? It's like,
Yeah.
who cares anyway? Yeah.
Do you remember the Kermit the Frog meme from years ago?
I love Kermit the Frog.
Where he's sipping the green tea and he says, "But that's none of my business." Remember
No.
that? Oh, you've never seen it?
I gotta see it.
Oh,
okay. All right.
We might have to add that to the screen. Eric, how you feeling over there?
Good. Questions, of course. So we had someone on here did somatic healing. Is that it sounds
Yes.
pretty similar?
Mhm.
Do you?
It is.
Okay.
It's very similar. It's an alternative method to healing trauma, limiting beliefs. So it is a somatic experience because if someone comes and they have a stomach pain or a hip problem or something, you're clearing the energy and eventually the body will heal.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
somatic, yeah.
And are there any particular books that you would recommend to someone that's trying to start into this? Like,
For intuitive coaching in particular, you can read David Hawkins' The MAP Scale of Consciousness. It tells you the different levels there's a scale of consciousness, and the lowest one is shame. And if we have that stored in the body, where is it hanging out in your body? Whatever. So all the different emotions, the body keeps a score is a really good one. And
I've read that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That coaching one, would that help you kind of coach yourself a little bit or no?
The map of consciousness or scale of consciousness,
Yeah.
no. Neither of
Okay.
them will teach you how to coach yourself. You would have to go through an actual.
You almost need a third person or third party like point of view, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I teach classes. If you guys want to learn, I can teach you. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, it's fascinating though. So I'm
Mhm.
loving this so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's real interesting about the somatic healer we were talking to, I was actually told I'm a projector with my throat, so it made sense with like the podcasting. Again, but I have a packet. I got a reading done.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting stuff. Like in like the time you were born and like
Yeah.
the situation, like it all plays a role.
The projector. What is it called? What's that?
Oh man.
Okay, if you're a
It
projector.
was like I got a reading done. They did my chart.
Yes,
and
I know what you're talking
everything.
about. I just forget what it's called.
I forgot the technical name
Mhm.
as well, but
Yep.
then there was a lot of information, but basically they told me I am a projector, so the voice is very important. So that was interesting in the beginning how I was feeling it in my throat.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was
Yeah.
trying to tie the two.
Yeah, the first place I went to, I'm like, your throat. You're like, tell me where I'm blocked and what I want to achieve. So
Yeah.
throat chakra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, for internet purposes and YouTube search, how does this all apply to love and dating? Because I think a lot of people, like we were talking before, they're frustrated, they're struggling. So this type of work, can that help them eventually? I hate the term. Like I'm a big believer too. Like you should be in love with yourself as well. Like you should be complete.
Mm-hmm.
But for those people who do feel like they're ready to entertain a relationship and whatnot, does this type of work help
Absolutely.
them?
Oh,
Could you dive a little into that?
absolutely. Yeah. When you do the inner work and heal yourself, and what are the stories that you have around relationships, the beliefs, what were your past experiences in relationships? When you do the inner work, you heal it, then you change. And when you change, you can start to attract new people into your life that are really aligned with your soul's resonance. When you don't, you'll most likely keep attracting the same partner or pattern. That's why doing the inner work and healing is so important. And when you can trust your intuition and use your intuition, you can trust yourself more fully. When I'm dating someone, hey, is this person really aligned with me? What does my intuition say? That's very helpful.
And that's a lot easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
Not to make excuses, but because in romance and dating, you're dealing with emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with those hormones. You're dealing with the
Yeah.
honeymoon.
Yeah.
All logic, literally, let's take a ball and just hit it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
It goes out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So you're really saying it's important to have those and know yourself ahead going into that, and
Yes.
being able to make those decisions. Like, hey, even though I'm attracted to this person, they're fun. When I when I start going down the list here, it doesn't really add up.
Right. Yeah. And also too, yes, I do say this to clients, create a list of my needs, my wants, and my hell no's, and be really clear on what this person is. If you want to visualize it, imagine this person, you're in the car with them. What is it like to hold their hand? What song is playing on the radio? Gives you insight to the feeling of the relationship, and really start to call this person into your life. But when you get really clear ahead of time, yeah, when you're on that date, does it fit what I said? And also too, though, there is room. Like, what does this person provide me or give me that maybe is new for me, that is different, than what a person may be used to.
No, I think that's brilliant, and I think it makes me think twice on what if you see somebody, oh, we've known each other 3 months, we got married, I knew they were the one. Perhaps a lot of times that's a bad idea, but there may be instances, like you said, if someone's really done this research and homework, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like if you know type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're just going to be aligned and
Yeah.
feel it. But if you never do that work, you're
I,
never even going to get close.
I think so. Yes. I think doing the work is key.
Hmm. What's the number one hang up you see with people in that area?
Doing the work.
Just doing the work, yeah.
It's really just doing it. We
Mm.
have the tools, we have the books, we have the mentors, the coaches, or the healers, or whatever avenue you want to go down. It's just doing it. Taking the time to prioritize yourself, your well-being, and what you want in life, and taking action on it. If you don't, then you'll just remain the same, and that's okay.
Nothing changes if nothing changes, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. It's like right now, I just want to keep throwing like all these philosophical,
Right?
spiritual books
Yeah.
at you and just say, Celestine Prophecy, go. Have you read?
It's on my desk right now.
Are you get out of here?
I'm reading
Are
it
you
right now. I'm
serious?
serious.
Wow. I actually gave that book away to a guest and I haven't replayed. You're leaving with a book here, by the way. That's,
okay.
That's how.
You're right.
Because I can tell you're a book reader, so it's.
I do enjoy.
What do you think of that book so far? That was a pivotal one for me.
So far, it has its own adventure and tale to it, and I haven't got too deep into it yet, but I know that there's a lot to be unraveled.
All right. Well, I'm not. Alchemist.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a great one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Awareness. Anthony DeMello.
Oh, I have that, and I haven't read it.
So you have it?
I believe I do.
Okay. So
Okay.
I give that one away a lot.
Okay. All right.
Well, we'll before you get out of here, we'll go to
Okay.
Sam's library and
Yeah.
we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it seems. So anything else on the intuitive coaching? Because I know you have a lot of other things you do.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything specifically you wanted to say? If you wanted to plug it right now, too, if people wanted to reach out to you and
Sure.
do this with you?
Yeah, I would say that the best investment you can ever make is in yourself. And if there's an area of your life that is struggling, whether it's your health, your relationships, your finances, or your just own personal development and growth, then do the inner work. I'll tell you from my own experience that this work has really helped me. It's helped me create multiple businesses that I really love. It's helped me create some beautiful relationships in my life. It's helped me become the best version of myself. And of course, I'll keep evolving and growing, but the modality is really fun. It's an experience every time. And you get to really grow and change. So you can schedule a call with me. There's a 12-week program.
Awesome. And great website, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was going through your links. I'm like, okay, you've put in some work here. Like, there's
Yeah.
And it sounds like one last thought. It reminds me too of, I believe Gandhi. I'm paraphrasing him, but he talked about if within a generation, if like the children would begin meditating, we could eliminate all violence and things of that nature. And I'm not saying that would be 100%, but it sounds like if more people would do this type of work, we would all just be better humans.
Yes,
because you're going to not get as triggered by things, and you're going to be happier and probably more empathetic and understanding. And
yes, if we can all get out of the rat race, the doing, and go more internal and meditate, do the inner work, self-reflect, respond versus react, self-care, then this world would be a better place. And another modality I love to use, speaking of meditation, is transcendental meditation. That's been pretty big in my life as well. Yeah.
I got one of those. I think it's on my nightstand.
Okay.
Or it might be over there, the spiritual section. But
okay.
Well, so how's that been for you, that type of meditation?
Oh, I love it. But yeah, if everyone can do some transcendental meditation, do your inner work. Yeah.
What's the difference between that and regular meditation?
You're repeating a mantra. You're given your unique Sanskrit word, and you repeat your word for 20 minutes twice a day, and it's pretty effective.
Wow, and that would be another hour if we were to.
I know.
Well, save that for part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm one of those lately too. I think I'll get your take on this too. I think there's more that, like, whatever works for people, right? Like for some people it might be that. For some people it may just be simply sitting there, in silence in the dark.
Great.
So I think just people having. It's great, like you bringing this to the table because you're the first person to talk about this.
Oh.
I'm a big believer in options. Maybe someone, they hear what you're doing right here and like, man, you know what? This didn't work for me over here, but that actually sounds like that might be my jam. So.
Yeah, there are options, and do what resonates most with you.
Okay, awesome. Well, and thank you for that gift of taking me through that.
You're welcome.
I have a lot of questions for myself later that I'll deal with later, but yeah, no, that was really beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And on top of that, you have a company as well. I want to pronounce Figaro. Figaro.
Yep.
There we go.
Figaro and Co.
Figaro and Co. Can you tell us about that and how that began?
Yes, I like to create businesses, I guess, and I wanted to create something that was really meaningful to me that I could impart to others. And I know, so in the past, I had worked with this plant called Kanna from back when I was doing more shamanism, shamanic psychology. I was doing more shamanism work, and I was working in ceremonial spaces, and I was working with all these different plants. And one of them I discovered was Kanna, and it's a natural heart opener. It's a succulent from South Africa. And I thought, I would like to make something into this because not many people know about it. And it's a beautiful plant and it works. And with mental health being where it is, I think that it's a natural way to help people who are maybe struggling with anxiety, depression, stress on a chronic basis. And Figaro, so let's see, about 5 months ago, I decided I want to start the company. And I was thinking of a name. What's the name of the company? I want it to be meaningful. So Figaro is the name of this cat that my grandmother gave to me when I was a child. My grandmother passed away last year, and I wanted to name the company like in symbolic of her and the love and care that she brought for me. And so that's where Figaro comes from. And now I have 3 products. So they're Kanna infused chocolates, there are Kanna elixir, and then there's a Kanna L-theanine bioperine spray that all of them are designed to help you relax, alleviate stress, anxiety, depression in a natural way. But my vision for it is for it to grow into more herbs and plants and more ways to help you live a better life. That's it.
I had my Kanna bites last night.
You did?
They were delicious.
Oh, good.
I'm a big dark chocolate fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it definitely, it was delicious. Like it was very, I don't know if earthy is the right word, but like at a sweet or like very, it felt like I was eating something from the earth,
Yeah.
but it tasted good.
Good.
Like a piece of fruit or something like that. You know
Ooh.
what I mean? It didn't seem like candy or anything like that. It was
Mhm.
actually felt like, oh, wow. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I was in a heightened state getting something done. So I hope it alleviated me. I have to keep taking it
Okay.
some
So
more, but it was really good. So what's the proper way to take it? I probably should ask you
eat
that.
2 of them and you'll
Mhm.
feel it within 30 minutes, and
Mhm.
everyone's a little bit different. So if
Yeah.
you were already in a heightened state, you could take up to 4 of them in one, and you'll probably get really relaxed. So you can try that.
I went to bed very easily if
Oh,
that
perfect. Yeah.
yeah, probably for me toward bedtime is going to be one of the best times
Yeah.
to
Yep.
take those.
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember talking to you at the last event I saw you where I had gotten those. When you told me, I'm like, so yeah, like how long? Because I was thinking like, oh, this has been years in the making and blah blah. You're like, oh yeah, no, like you said,
5, 6 months ago? Yeah.
yeah, and I'm
3
like,
months? Yeah.
you launched, like, went from idea to this in that amount of time. Like that's incredible.
Mhm.
S- So not to get too off topic with that, but like what? So you just seem to be a very driven person that gets stuff done.
Mhm.
Where
Mhm.
where does that come from?
Mm. I feel like I've had it in my spirit my entire life. Perhaps it comes from my dad. He was very entrepreneurial. Maybe, going back to our roots, but even when I started young. I I'm maybe 7 years old, and my dad would invite people over parties and all of his friends, and they were drinking and partying, and some of them were cursing, and I didn't like the cursing. So I'm like, "Listen, you curse one more time around me, you're paying me $1." And so I started walking around with a bucket, and people were giving me dollars all night. And so at the end of the night, I would count my dollars, and I'm like, "Well, I just made a profit off of that." So I just started coming up with these different ideas because I don't know.
7 years old.
7 years. So I think it was 7 or 8 years old.
I've
Yeah.
never heard. Usually it's like lemonade stand or something.
I did that too. And I did a gumball machine stand. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
you were entrepreneurial from the get go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting, but it starts to make more sense
Mhm.
now seeing like, cause yeah, like, I mean, that's because you're also an actor.
Mhm. I love
Uh,
acting. Yeah.
yeah, I checked out your reels too. Great work.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you pursuing that hard right now, or is it just? I know all of us out
Yeah.
here when opportunities come, they're there, but
Yeah. I mean, I have an agent, I have a manager. Sometimes I'll get auditions. I probably get 2 auditions a month, and they're mostly self-tape, which is fine. It's okay. It's different than going into the audition room, which I find easier. And I even though when's the last time I booked something? Maybe like in the summer. So the work is not consistent with acting, but I like to create my own work, and I'm writing a screenplay, and I'm sure I'll book something again soon. But yeah, I love acting.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and back to the Kanna bites because
Mhm.
I know. What's the difference between the bites and the drops?
Oh, okay. Good question.
Or if you could just take us through each product, like which one's
Yeah,
best used for what?
the Kanna bites are good to relax, unwind at the end of the day, or anytime you just want a little bit of a lift, feel a little bit happier. You can take E2 of those, and it's just this calm, happy, little bit of a lift feeling. The Kanna elixir, so I changed the name. They were first Kanna drops. The Kanna elixir is more potent and powerful. You feel it instantly. You place 2 under your tongue, and last night I took some, and I just wanted to lay down, crawl into my bed, relax, like just I it was a great experience. You feel like a little bit of a journey. It's a powerful heart opener. So there's a little bit of a difference there, and it's good to take before bed too. It'll just help you just ease right into sleep.
So the bites, the elixir, and there was one more product.
Yeah, that one's gonna be called Serene Ease, and that is for ease and focus, which is Kanna L-theanine and bioperine. And that is a spray you spray in your mouth, and it just makes you relaxed and focused.
Okay, and that is not out yet.
Not that is I have my old product available, but no, that one's not out yet.
Okay, so are you just hitting the event scene right now, or wherever we can promote this?
Yeah, going to different events, workshops, introducing it to spas, retailers, direct to consumer. what I'm doing.
Well, and that's pretty cool, you dedicating it to your grandmother. Sorry for
Mm.
your loss, by the way, but like being able to pay tribute,
Thank
if you
you.
will,
Thank you. Yeah.
Because I think one thing that gets lost, a legacy, in a way, like where we came from, and
Hmm.
even though we go our own paths, we come from other
Yes.
human beings that installed values and lessons and
Hmm.
experiences. So that's cool that you're able to
Yeah.
have a piece of that,
Y-
and build it into something.
Thank you. Yes.
So what other businesses you got going?
What other businesses?
Well, you're yoga trained too, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
teach yoga as well. Uh-huh. Hmm.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite out of all these things you do, or is it kind of like all of it's
All
just
of
every?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like it all meshes in with each other, and I love them all.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Well, and I think they would all play off each other, right? I mean, especially, you go to a yoga thing.
Here are two chocolates.
Here's the chocolates, but then also like, oh, you want to explore.
Yeah.
And LA is just totally
Mhm.
that's why I do this. One of the great things I do love about out here is like there's no limit.
Yes.
If you want to find it,
Hmm.
it's
You'll
here.
find it.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the place for it.
Do you see this being the place you want to be for the time being? Are there other places in the world?
Hmm.
Because it seems like someone like you there's going to be opportunities and different journeys and
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to Nepal next month,
okay.
and that'll be fun.
That's India, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's next to India.
Next to India.
Yeah. Yeah, so that, I mean, I wouldn't live in Nepal, but that's somewhere I'm traveling to. But as far as living goes, I like living in California. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a good place for me.
Business to Nepal, like some type of retreat or
Yeah, going with friends, and it's we're sponsoring this orphanage, and we're going to be with orphanage and learn. So the healer who's leading the retreat, we're gonna go to the different temples and learn where he learned from his healer, and it's just a bunch of different things. It's gonna be an adventure.
that sounds incredible.
Yeah, right. Mhm.
So, and back to your company, is there anything else you'd like to say on that? Any more future plans? And if people want to check that out or buy the products, where do they need to go for that?
Yeah, you can go to thefigaro.co, and that's TheFigar.co. And right now, the only products available are the Kanna Bites, the Kanna Elixir, and then the spray. And my intention for the company is to see it grow into a lifestyle to help you live intentionally through plant-based wellness and, um, you know, living your best naturally.
I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
I love it. It's what's cool is you're creating companies based upon your lifestyle and
Mm-hmm.
stuff that is improving. I mean, you're improving no matter, you know what I mean? Like you're creating things that you would
Yes.
probably do anyway.
This is what helps me. So let
Yeah.
me share you what helps
Yeah.
me. This will help
Yeah.
you. Mm-hmm.
And I have to ask you this,
Mm-hmm.
the bending of the spoon.
Bending on the spoon.
I did go to your Instagram. That one was very interesting. Could you explain for anyone watching, listening, and you take it away from me, but you had a spoon and you're like, I'm going to make this bend, or what was that?
That was, I took the spoon bending course, and it was a spoon bending telekinesis course, and it's how to move objects with your mind. We're powerful beings. We really are. We're capable of so much. And I found interest in it. And I learned different energy techniques. They're just energy techniques, how you talk to the spoon, how you program it, how you send energy to it. And then you just do that, and the spoon bends.
So I have multiple questions.
Hmm.
So, because when you did it, you put the energy and then you set it down, right, for a
Hmm.
few minutes. And so what you're doing is you're making it so it will be bendable when you pick it back up. It's not like you do it, and you pick it up and it bends, right? Like you
Yeah.
do it, you pick it up, and then you're able to bend it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's from what I learned, and I haven't practiced it enough where, I mean, maybe I'm sure there are people who can go like this and just watch it bend, perhaps. But how I was taught is that you program it, you let it sit, and you let the spoon do its thing. Then you come back to it and then see if it's soft or not, and then it bends.
So, okay, this opens a whole new rabbit hole. It was a book or a documentary, I can't remember, but they said there was this group of people. Sounds like you probably know more than me, but they had abilities, had tapped into abilities of the human mind. Like they were doing crazy stuff, like bending stuff, like not touch, like what I think they were flying, they were doing all types of stuff, and people like they have no idea how to access this part of their brain. So am I anywhere near the ballpark of like
No, you're right. There are people out there who can do crazy things with their mind. They can levitate. They can
levitate, that's the word I was looking for.
Oh yeah, that's all real. There's actually this school I believe it's in Utah, that is called like mind bending or something. I forget the name of it, but I want to go at some point, and they teach you how to read with your eyes closed, how to do crazy stuff. And I'm like, I want to go. Yeah.
Why do you think I don't know, just open for comment. Why do you think people wouldn't want people knowing about this stuff? You know what I mean? Because like when you mention this type of stuff, like they're just, most people are going to be like, "What are you talking about?" You know, that's crazy. Like no one can do that.
Yeah, I would say they don't. I would say some people don't want us to know the truth of how powerful we are, because if we did, then maybe we wouldn't be buying certain things that they want us to buy, or thinking a certain way that's a fear-based way of thinking. But the proof is out there that if the one person is capable of levitating, or if one person is capable of finishing a marathon, or if one person is capable, whatever that thing is, that means the rest of humanity is too. So if it's possible for one, it's possible for everyone.
It's almost like they want us to be kept dumbed down and not aware of our own powers and abilities.
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up later.
Okay, yeah.
See if they just have like a 48-hour weekend retreat or something like that.
Yeah.
But like Lost City of Atlantis, like all these different, like I like to, I could go, I'll go way off the deep end, but just different theories of the earth. And
yeah, for sure. But you know what? Even though how powerful someone may get, I think it can be, it's almost like the information's out there. We can become as powerful as we want, but it takes multiple people to create a difference. Now I don't know. Yeah.
Well, then I'll reel us back in because like, oh, have you heard the theory of hollow Earth theory? And
hollow Earth.
It has nothing to do with people levitating, but like basically there's a world inside the world.
Oh no.
Yeah, and at the North and South Pole, that's where there's openings. That's why like UFOs and stuff, they're actually flying into the inside of the earth where people live. And,
whoa. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, go YouTube that one later.
I will. Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth theory. Yeah, I've spent a little bit of time. It again could be completely made up, but it's interesting because there's so many things like you can't disprove. Like you can maybe not be able to prove it, but we necessarily can't disprove it either. And like you said, if one person's able to do something over here, people try to bury that or like, oh no, don't pay attention over there type of thing. I'm just always curious. I like reading that type of stuff. And
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So yoga, how did you get into that really briefly? I'm just curious. Like, does that here in LA?
Yeah.
You decided to do that? You'd never done that in New York or anything previously?
I started taking yoga. I was taking some Bikram classes in New York, just here and there. I enjoyed it. I really like the heat. Anytime I take yoga, it's in a heated room. And then about 6 years ago, I was taking yoga a lot. It was part of my daily practice. And over a year and a half ago, I decided I'll get certified in yin yoga. Why not? I can teach it, make it part of what I offer, and just to deepen my knowledge. And now I teach it.
Again, just add another thing to the
utility
belt. Yeah.
So many tools in the belt. Yeah.
How many hours of training did that take to do the yin yoga?
100 hours.
Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah, and I'm with you. If it's not hot yoga, I don't want it. I mean, I'll do it, but
yeah,
I like it hot.
Hot yoga. Yeah.
And then I have to ask you about the shamanic psychology. Could
Sure.
you break that down? Because I don't
Sure.
even know what that is, but
Yeah.
that just, if there was a book titled that, I would buy it. I'm sure
Right?
there is, but
I'm
yeah,
gonna look that up.
I would pick that up off the shelf because
Mhm.
that'd be something I would just be curious to what that entails.
Yeah. So shamanic psychology is, I mean, for the definition, shamanic psychology is the study of how you interact, how your psyche interacts with different shapes and symbols. Um, so the training I went through with that is when I was working closely with a shaman and I was working in ceremonial spaces. And when I was training to be a facilitator and I was, say, I'm working with a client in the group and I'm seeing them go through these deep psychological processes. And I had to kind of be a reflection for them and help guide them to whatever, get out of that loop or get out of that spiral in the best way possible. So it's the study of different archetypes, symbols, um, symbols. Yeah.
And when you say facilitator, what exactly do you mean? Or like what type of settings are we talking about?
Setting would be you come into a home, there's about 20 people, it's in a comfortable setting, safe setting, and you're taking some type of plant sacrament and you go into a journey and you have a facilitator there or a guide to guide you through.
And that's a very important thing from my own experiences. Set and setting is everything, but
Mhm.
also it's a very serious thing too.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think sometimes it can get thrown around. Oh, just go do it. It's like, no, you really got to be in a good mental state of mind for a lot of these things. But having someone there, I
Mhm.
mean, there that can help guide someone through those uncomfortable moments, I think is a very valuable
Oh,
thing to have.
oh, for sure. Yeah, that can either enhance your process or it can take away from your process. So you want someone who knows what they're doing, and it's better to have a facilitator there than doing it on your own.
Hmm. And with that, something that you still want to do, or is that more of like you were into that and that led you to the intuitive coaching and all the other?
Well, now that I'm working with Kanna and I'm working with farms in South Africa, I now have more resource and access to more plants now, and I'm going to be hosting my first journey group utilizing plant medicine in my home and to help people just go a little bit deeper, still using the tools I use with energy healing, but now using plant sacrament.
And quick question: how did you get connected to the Kanna in South Africa?
Hmm.
How did you get connected to that in the first place?
So I was part of an old group and community where when I was working in shamanism and doing different healings, doing different groups with them for many years, and then someone I met in that same community um, kind of created his own thing and works with different farms out there. So I said, "Hey, I'm looking to create a product. I know you have Kanna farms out in South Africa, so I would like to create something." That's how I got connected.
And you may have. Sorry if I'm repeating things, but I'm just trying. So the plant.
Hmm.
So I guess the Kanna bites are like chocolate, right? It's chocolate.
Hmm.
Was that your choice then to say, hey, we're going to do this in chocolate? I mean, what I'm saying is, could you have done it in vanilla? Could you have done it
Oh, I
in
see.
any flavor, or is there a specific reason why it's chocolate?
I'm sure I could have chose what I wanted, but they actually had this product. This one they already had the product made, and I tried it, and I thought I would like to brand this and make this my own. And but then the third product is my own, which I'm creating, and that's a little bit of a different process.
Okay, no, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna pop a couple. You want one? No.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
So nighttime's the best time to always take those though, because
Or if you're taking
or
the
whenever.
day, yeah,
Yeah.
the bites you could take during the day if you want. It'll make you a little bit more relaxed. The elixir is way stronger. I would do that if you're gonna be hanging at home or at night.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
Mm.
Eric, do you got anything over there? I know you got a few questions brewing.
What's your take on like psychedelic stuff like mushrooms and I don't know, acid or anything like that?
I love it. It's powerful. Psychedelics are very healing, and they use psychedelics a lot now in health clinics to help people with trauma, PTSD, depression. And I think it's a great way to either microdose or to do it,
Mhm.
in a group setting with a guide. But psychedelics are great. Acid, I've never tried, but I know people who have. But MDMA is great.
Mhm.
That's a powerful, it's not really plant derivative, but still it floods your brain with serotonin. And when you do that, you can access deeper layers of healing. And I think there are so many discoveries now with all of these plants that can really make a profound difference.
Yeah, don't they call the Kanna the nature's MDMA or
It
something like that?
is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it feels like MDMA.
Hmm.
Last night, I'm like, I'm on MDMA right now. Yeah.
Get the house music or club music going on the laptop.
Maybe not that. You want to like more easier
yeah.
on the nervous system. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got a little time. This opens a whole other conversation. Back to, yeah, it's definitely those things are, I think viewed as tools, they're tools. And I think having these, because they're starting to do, I know in Colorado they are like really starting to have actual clinics and things with licensed professionals for people to do some of these ceremonies and to do some of these things and to have people there monitoring it.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about it, so I can't speak on it, but I guess it's heading that direction is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
As opposed to people having to do these things like, oh man, I got to go out of the country to do this, or I got to find the right group and community where I can do this safely. Whereas now, like, no, if there's people actually getting benefits and mental health improving from things like this,
Yes.
it should at least be an option.
Oh,
for
yes.
people,
Yes. Ketamine clinics too is another one.
Are those in California?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I know, because I know we've talked about ayahuasca a lot on this. That's one I've never done, but like that's one I feel like I almost, you got to go to Peru almost. Like it's
for sure.
It's like I want to take that journey and like actually, I say that now. Like I'll probably get down there, and be like,
do it in Peru.
I should have gone to Denver.
No,
I should have. This is a terrible idea. There's mosquitoes.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
But I watched like a mini documentary on it, and I've talked to people who have done it, and they go down there, and it's like part of the experience. Like you go down, and even some circumstances they're helping make it.
Yes, yeah, that's what we did.
Oh wait, so you've done that?
Oh yeah.
Can you talk about it for a few minutes?
Yeah.
Why? I'm gonna cut me. Like, tell me about that.
I went to Peru. This was back in, when was this? 2017, maybe. And it is an excursion to get there. It's like a 17-hour plane ride. Then you take another plane to Lima. Then you take a 4-hour boat ride. And then you take another boat. Then
to my point I was saying earlier.
And then finally you get to the heart of the jungle where it was beautiful. All these lush green trees, and they have a cabin, and you have your own little hut where you sleep. And then then you walk again to the middle where they built this temple that was the same. It connects you to the constellation of the stars. It was just really pretty. And you go into this temple or hut, whatever you want to call it, in the middle of the jungle. And then the shaman says his intro. He making it. You get the chacruna from the leaves, you get the vine, and from taking, how do you make it again? It's like a process. You're all together, you're breaking off the leaves, you get the vine, the chacruna, the ayahuasca leaf, and then you mix it together, you boil it, you blend it, and then you have this brew. And luckily, the one that I've always had doesn't make you get sick or vomit. But and then you go when you're ready for the ceremony. And then you go up to the shaman, he gives you your thing, and then bottoms up. You're in for a ride.
And it lasts quite a while, right? Like it's not like a 45-minute thing. It's
at least 8 to 10 hours. Yeah. It's intense.
And did you do it? Because I've heard some people do it multiple times. Like they do it one night, and then I don't know if you do it the next night right away, or if you do it like wait.
You can do ayahuasca both nights. The way that I did it, so it was 3 nighs, and you can do like heart openers and other plants. There are many plants that you can do, and then you can work your way up to ayahuasca, or you can have ayahuasca all 3 nights. Really depends on you and how the shaman or guide reads you and what thinks is best for you.
and I know we could talk hours probably on what that experience was like alone, but what were your biggest takeaways from it for you personally, if you're willing to share any?
My first ayahuasca experience, it also different factors were involved, the setting, people, and different things. So that first experience for me told me a lot about eliminating fear and where fear comes from. Um, and and when you do that, on the other side of fear is all love. So that was my biggest takeaway.
It's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes those experiences, it's like, again, you can read every book in the world or
Mm-hmm.
but like those kind of,
Boom.
oh, that's
Yes.
what it is.
Yes. Right. When you actually get to experience it, it's visceral, it's cathartic, it's all of it. It becomes that more ingrained in you.
Well, and the thing with ayahuasca and other plant medicines, I think how do I say it? Like, I don't know if credibility is the right word, but at least as far as connection to us, I mean, the fact that they come from the earth as well,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that these ancient civilizations had been dealing with these. And it actually starts to make sense when you look
Yes.
at some of maybe the mythology and things like that. It's like, okay, that I see what you were going with that, but you
Yeah.
might have been tripping.
Right?
You might have
Well,
been,
you were on
for
something.
lack of a better term, with all due respect, but you probably were
Yeah.
ingested something. But
Yeah.
again, you familiar with Terrence McKenna?
Yes.
I feel like you're like, I can just keep throwing stuff, and like these are usually things where people are like, "Who is that?" But you're like, "Yes."
Yeah. This is my world. Yeah.
So his stoned ape theory always fascinated me.
Mm.
Because mushrooms and DMT were his big thing, and he has a theory that, which his lectures, by the way, are incredible.
Mm.
I just love to sit back and listen to those. But that apes actually started eating psychedelic mushrooms,
Mm.
and that's how this
Began
all
to
ties to like
evolve.
that's how their brains developed and got smarter and to make tools and things like that. I mean, that's all
Yeah.
considering you believe in evolution and all that, but very interesting. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but
Wild.
it's just crazy and wild to think about, like that
Yeah.
possibility.
Yes.
That we should probably explore that to see like if there's truth to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I
You know?
should I'm intrigued to read up more on that because
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ram Dass, be here now.
Yes.
You've read that one?
No, I haven't, but Ram Dass is great.
Yeah, like I'm always fascinated by that group. Timothy Leary,
Mm-hmm.
Ram Dass, I believe Richard Alpert. Or no, Richard Alpert was Ram Dass.
Okay.
There was like another one of that group, the Harvard group.
Carlos Castaneda.
Might have been.
Okay.
They were these Harvard professors, and Ram Dass, he was like the head of his
Oh yeah.
division.
Mm-hmm.
He was high up there, and Leary was a professor, and
Mm-hmm.
these guys started experimenting with psychedelic mushrooms
That's
and
right.
LSD.
That's right.
And totally went in completely different directions. And it was
Yes.
a whole movement.
Yes.
Like it was very, I like looking at that period of time because it was just a huge shift.
Yes.
Vietnam War, all these things,
Mm-hmm.
Woodstock.
Yeah, that's a major shift. Did Timothy Leary write the book Stealing Fire?
I'm not sure. He wrote several books.
Okay, all right.
We actually had someone on this podcast.
Mhm.
This is crazy. He not only knew Timothy Leary, but knew him very, very well.
Wow.
And he like filled us in on just on kind of who he was and just this explorer. And he was big into the computer age as computers were coming in. And
Cool.
but yeah, that was a lot of my initial journey into this type of thing is when I discovered Ram Dass, Terrence McKenna, Timothy Leary, and all these guys.
Very exciting.
And then I found out Steve Jobs had dropped LSD a couple times.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I'm reading his biography right now.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Like just to get in the mind of these people that, because they're always loved and hated, right? Like Elon Musk, someone too, I read his bio, loved and hated now. Well, hated by a lot now, but you can't deny the brilliance. Like you can't deny what these guys did. And then you have to ask yourself, sometimes these people that have taken it to these levels, I'm not saying you can't be a nice person and do that, but there are certain boundaries and standards that you have to enforce,
Of
or you're
course.
never gonna get there. And then that got me thinking further. It's like, well, we actually need people like that, because
Yeah.
if you just have a bunch of people that are just going to be okay with the way things are, you're never going to progress.
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
I'm going off on something completely.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, no. I mean, it's very relevant to what we're experiencing in this day and age, but we need the movers and shakers who have a voice or they want to make a difference, and whatever side they're coming from. Okay. But yeah.
Well, and back to you. I mean, look what you're doing. I mean, to go from it is a true skill,
Mm-hmm.
and I call it power, even, to be able to go from idea to finished product.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was telling you about my thing, Produce Your Passion,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to, I'm going to do a separate podcast for that. I'd love to bring you onto
Oh,
that.
I love
'cause
it. Thanks.
I think you have a perfect example of that.
Oh,
Because there's so many people that have so many great ideas.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you don't act upon it, I think I got this from Magic. I'm just
Yeah.
pulling books out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Magic of Thinking Big. That's another good
That's
one.
a good one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Man, I'm waiting to say something that you haven't. The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get you before we get
Okay,
out. I'm going to find
okay,
something. You're
okay.
like, oh, I've never heard of that. But they talked about it's better to execute an average plan than to let a great idea just sit there.
For sure.
That's really what a lot of the world is.
Yes. The richest place in the world is the graveyard, because that's where all the greatest ideas are. We need to take action on our ideas, but a lot of people don't know how, or they don't have the confidence, or they don't have the time or the energy. But these are excuses. But it also comes down to believing in this idea so much, and how much would it mean to you if you really birthed this into creation. Walt Disney, he had an idea, and look what he made, because he took action.
Absolutely. And then think how many people may have been more talented or creative than some of these people,
Yeah. Yes.
but never took action. I mean, back to the Jobs,
Mm-hmm.
Wozniak was the brilliance behind the initial Apple computer. He was the engineer that could make it, create it.
Mm-hmm.
But Jobs was the visionary business guy.
Yeah.
He was like, look, we can take this. This is great what you made. Because Wozniak was willing to just give this away and just show it off to computer people at the time.
I see.
And it never may have seen the light of day, but Jobs is like, no, we can turn this into a product.
Ooh.
And we can sell it.
Yeah.
And we can this, but you need both.
Yes.
You need both of those
Yes.
things.
The different brains, we delegate. Someone has their strengths over here. Someone has their strengths over here.
So do you have a team of people you work with, or is a lot of it just you, like wearing several hats?
Right now, it's just me wearing most of the hats, but I have a really awesome web developer who does all my design work for my marketing materials and the website itself. So him, what else? Then it's
Me, myself, and
yeah,
huh?
for now, but I will have a team, badass team.
I was confident right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you'd want to hire out for? Like, right, if someone came to you and say, look, we'll give you the ability to hire one full-time position right now, what would be the biggest thing that someone could take off your plate to free you up more?
Someone who will outsource, look up all the events for me, book them for me, and do, I don't know if it's sales. Well, the sales would be at events, because I kind of do that already. I thought you had an idea over there.
No, I just made like a weird mouth noise. I was like, did they hear that?
So like, but actually,
Wait a second.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Effective Executive. Have you read that one?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
It's like from the 1960s.
Okay.
It's like one of those just practical, I don't even remember what's in it, actually. Tim Ferriss was big on it. That's why
Okay.
4-hour work week.
Yeah.
I can see.
Okay.
I would say Power of Now, but I already know. Yeah.
Eckhart Tolle.
This is actually fun because usually when I say some of these, people are like, what?
Really?
What was it? Not everybody. Rick Rubin, The Creative Act.
Okay, I haven't read that, but I know that name.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great for your artistry. I mean, everything you're doing, and that's what's cool. I mean, you probably being an artist as
Yeah.
well. Like, how much of your artistry are you able to carry over into these projects? Because what you're doing is creative. It's
It
creative
is.
things, especially working with your web developer.
Yes.
Um,
It's all a creative, it's all creative. Building a business creative, the design, the logo, the building of it all is all a very creative process. But then me as an artist and an actor is a different medium that I express that in. And I have to just make time to do that. And I do that. I make time once a week, every week to dedicate to writing, whether it's for an hour or 2 hours, and then hopefully get to act some more too.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone doesn't give you a role, you write your own,
I write
right?
my own role.
Yeah. That's the philosophy around here. Eric, do you have any final questions as we're
Sure, and be as vague as you want to be on this. I'm just curious, like I would assume that you wouldn't go down any of these routes unless you kind of had some pretty interesting journey, or I don't know if it's a trauma or something that you were trying or have successfully really worked through. I was just curious if you want to like share a little bit about like what drew you into,
This work.
this work essentially.
Yeah, I would say with intuitive coaching, starting my own business, and I guess essentially being a healer coach, what drew me into it all was, yes, I have gone through many different forms of trauma throughout my life, um, starting from childhood, growing up in a dysfunctional household where my parents were always fighting. And, there was a point in time where I was out in the street. My dad almost died. My mom almost died. And I always found myself, and my grandmother, another grandmother. So I always found myself in these crisis situations. And I had to learn to really take care of myself and take care of myself and how to help others in the process. And I found myself struggling. I found myself in abusive relationships, not liking the jobs that I had. And I knew that it was up to me to make a change. And that's why I went down the path of healing, to heal me first. And now I can help others too.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rose, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Well, this has been a treat. It's quite obvious. I mean, I would love just to do a podcast with you where literally I just grab every book and just, you've read this one? You read this one? Have you read the book Mindset?
Bye.
Carol, it's over there. Shoot. Deck?
I don't know. No.
Okay. All right. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Oh, by Stephen Covey?
Yeah.
I haven't read it, but I know it.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Do you have any plans to write a book of your own one day?
Yes.
Oh, again, confident. There we go.
Mhm.
Any teaser to what you may want it to be about?
I think my life story, and really sharing all the things that I went through and how I got to where I am.
Okay. I look forward to reading it. Well, Maria, this has been an absolute treat. Is there anything else that you wanted to say? And we'll plug your stuff again, but anything else you wanted to talk about before we round out here?
No, just I'm so happy to be here, and thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming on. It's very admirable. Not only your ability to seize opportunity and act quickly and step in here, but just hearing your story and how you operate. Like, I mean, you're just like a serial entrepreneur.
Thanks.
Artist. And it's cool and it's inspiring to be around, because that's the type of people I know I like to surround myself with. And I geek out on, because I too have a good web guy.
Okay, nice. Where am I developing now?
Wednesday night's website meeting night, where we go through everything and I got to do this for this one and that. But
cool.
It is cool in this age that we're in, that we are able to make our own little empires. I say little, not that it's little, but just our own. We don't have to wait for permission from anybody.
No.
Like I just think it's incredible how quickly you came up with your recent company. Like, I think that's really awesome.
And I hope everyone, whether you're in a 9-to-5 job, whether you're an entrepreneur, or whether you're in a job you don't like, what do you love? What are you passionate about? And just start to offer it to people. See what you can create out of it, and I bet you'll find joy in it, and you'll learn something about yourself, and who knows, maybe you can make a business out of it.
Awesome. And that was great advice. And any other advice for those people that maybe
Hmm.
they see someone like you that's just able to execute like you do, and like they goes, man, I'm just stuck. I don't know what to do.
If you feel stuck, the first thing you do is just move your body, take action. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be messy, but just take action. Just do it. Really, just do it.
Nike had it right.
Oh no,
didn't
but I didn't mean to put a Nike thing in there, but yeah. But seriously, take action. Yeah.
I love it. And so anyone that wants to find you on social media, visit your websites, hire you for coaching, where are all the appropriate places people can go to contact you?
The most appropriate and best places you can go if you're on social media, my Instagram is @MariaShapester, and now I have everything under the Figaro and Co, which you can book coaching and healing. You can buy the products on thefigaro.co.
Awesome. Well, Maria, thank you so much for this.
Thank you,
I'm
Sam.
gonna show you some books here after that.
I can't wait.
But thank you. This is a true treat. It was a pleasure getting to know you, and keep up the phenomenal work.
Thank you.
It's really awesome. And I always give the guests the last word. You've already given us so much, but it can be as short or as little as you want. How would you like to end this podcast?
I would like to end this podcast by saying, believe in yourself and know that you are worthy to have all of your heartfelt needs met.
Beautiful. Maria, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Sam Dever, the Sam Dever Podcast here, and I just want to thank you for checking out this episode. To watch and listen to future episodes, be sure to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@the Sam Dever Podcast. Thank you so much. See you soon.